It's so windy out. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
It's so windy out.
We've had a snowstorm on Wednesday,
Yes.
and then a mini snowstorm today, but more wind than snow today.
Yes, and it's so cold.
And you've gotten 2 snow days this week.
And like as much as that brings my heart so much joy, I need to work somewhere where I need to live somewhere where there is less snow. Maybe perhaps no snow. I'm Jen.
I'm Neal.
I feel like my voice sounds weird.
It sounds fine.
We watch reality TV. We're in a relationship. The podcast is called Hi, How Are You? 'Cause I take a gummy.
She takes a gummy.
And Neal doesn't.
And I do
Except
not.
for our special last episode where Neal did. I honestly don't remember how that went. I probably still just shoehorned and bamboozled the whole thing. I call myself bamboozled. That's not a fact about me. We're talking about the challenge finale.
Challenge finale.
Spoilers alert.
Spoiler
Ye who
alert.
enter here.
Spoiler alert.
As always, there's never been a podcast that has been spoiler free. We are finally talking about the finale.
19 episodes. I do not remember them being this many episodes.
Yeah, very long seasons. Thank the Lord. Are we okay? Neal and I took a bet on whether or not our youngest cat, Franklin, would leave after we were finished eating, because I give him a little tiny bite of like the inside of a McDonald's French fry on our Friday takeout nights. And then Neal says, you don't remember his routine at all. He literally leaves as soon as we're done eating. As soon as he knows he's not going to get a second French fry.
That's not what I said.
Once we sit and start watching something.
After we're done eating and we pick something to watch and start watching, he will conveniently disappear
for the whole night until
he comes back downstairs to
FS up.
He knocks things off shelves like crazy.
Like, Neal has books from university, and several of the soft cover ones are fully destroyed because he gets up next to the bookshelf and just hauls them so they fall to the floor over and over again.
And Winnie, no matter where she is down here, will cartoon run up the stairs to get away.
Danger, danger. Good for her. Her self-preservation meter's high. You can't knock that in 2025.
Right. So
we've watched some bad movies lately.
Yes, we have, but that's
Holy
not
crap.
what we're talking about.
Sorry.
Maybe in a different episode we'll discuss all the terrible horror movies and other movies.
We've been pretty desperate.
Yeah, because we had a little rut. I mean, I'm waiting for The Long Walk to be streamable.
Everything should come to streaming faster.
Right.
So news alert, if you haven't been reading the news today, Netflix bought...
or is about to buy Warner Brothers.
Which is really difficult for me to wrap my head around. Because is this the first time that a, streaming service has bought a, production company? I know Netflix produces movies, but, Warner Brothers has been doing it a lot longer than Netflix.
Well, people compare it to Disney buying Fox. But
Disney,
that was pre all the streaming services.
And B, Disney is still a gigantic company.
Yes.
I mean, I know Netflix is too, but if you're talking about in the world of entertainment, Netflix is new.
Right, and
compared to anything else that was on the table, compared to Paramount, and not just new, but to me in a completely different category of media. Am I wrong to think streaming is still that far removed?
Oh.
How are they going to handle movies going to theaters?
Well, I've told you what the Netflix CEO or somebody has come out and said, we still want to bring movies to theaters, but we want them to have shorter theater runs so that we can get them into streaming faster.
And my thing is, yes, right, I remember this conversation, because my thing is, if it's a huge movie, you can still keep it in theaters forever, just don't have such a long wait time in between. Like, there's no reason that when a movie stops being shown in theaters, it should take 3 months to show up on streaming. I've forgotten about it. A month max. And that's, you know what, if you want the Avengers to stay in theaters for 2 months, that's fine. People are still trickling in. Small town theaters can only afford to get it 4 or 5 weeks after the premiere. Fine. But then we only want to wait a month to get it.
Well, here's my example I brought up earlier. That
You've spent all that marketing money. Why would you... Gone are the days where you're going to remarket it to be released on DVD. You don't have to wait now. Spend the marketing dollars once and then put it on streaming.
Well, here's the example I gave you, but I want to expand on it real quick before we get to the challenge.
Which we'll talk about, I promise.
I Know What You Did Last Summer came out June or July to theaters, and
we did not go see it because we did not feel we should spend our money on it.
Right. It completely flopped. And this is with them bringing the legacy characters back.
Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes. And
long live the 90s.
Yes. And it was out of theaters very quickly because it made no money. And then we had to wait until it was free streaming at the end of October.
Yes, like 3 months.
And
listen.
Well, I'm not done making my point.
Sorry,
Please, thank you. A lot of the times, about a couple weeks after it's done in theaters, then you can buy it on digital platforms. But I honestly don't think anyone does that because it's like
can't there be a market for that?
So you have that, and then you have to wait months on top of that. And like you mentioned, it killed that movie's momentum.
Yes, who cared once it came to streaming?
I get you wanted to release near like Halloween, maybe that was their thing, but if you look at the numbers, it totally failed on streaming.
Failed on both accounts is crazy. Like you said, for a movie that is an existing property and brings back its legacy characters, and it's been a long time since we've had one. It's not like now it's going to be the 13th Scream. And you know what? The 13th Scream would probably do better than that. The 500th Saw would probably do better than that. So
Right.
what went wrong? We're not going to get into that. Also, I just wanted to acknowledge, and this is what I was going to interrupt you to say, that we're speaking from a Canadian context, so sometimes our streaming services are later to get things, but I feel like it's a general rule that it just even takes too long in America.
I think we get some stuff earlier, and
This is true.
It just depends on the
Who
agreement.
buys it, yeah.
Crave gets stuff really early, occasionally.
I'm going to pass away. 2 of our cats, I have a human-sized beanbag that I bought from Costco. I ordered it on the internet. It came in quite a large box, but then it's like that memory foam that, like you get a mattress in a box. We opened it, and it grew, and it grew, and it kept growing, and it's really, really... Maybe I'll show you a picture of it. 2 of our cats are on it right now. Oh, Winnie blew it.
Winnie loves it. She's been on it more than anyone.
Yes, but Frank was already there, and he was settled, and he's super playful, and she just wants to be Mommy Winnie. So she's going to give him a bath right now, and he's going to be like, oh, you know what? You know what I would really enjoy doing while you give me this bath? Biting your throat out.
Yes.
He just can't help himself. He wants to play. He thinks she wants to play. Then she's going to get mad and she's going to hiss at him and run away. And then you're going to end up being right and he's not going to be down here.
Yes. And
the challenge.
Okay, so this is day 2. They start with, does anyone want to stake a claim? And of course, nobody, and I didn't think of this until right before Cedric said it. You can't stake a claim because you're going to be exhausted because it's probably a physical challenge to stake the claim on somebody. So you don't want to do that and then have to stand on a log for hours and hours.
Right. Which is what they had to do. I always enjoy when they incorporate that, when it's overnight and it's you sleep in a tent, but one person gets to sleep and one person has to do something, which in this case was stand on a log. And the only value coming in first, second, third, and fourth on the first day was Turbo and Sydney were in first, so they had 6 hours. Then second was 7 hours that they had to be on the log. And then 8 hours and 9 hours.
Well, no. Until sunrise for the last team, which was 9 hours, 37 minutes. So, yes.
Whatever.
Yes, you get a little bit of extra maybe sleep.
Which I think you're saying it like it's nothing. I think you have to really value any sort of recharging your body can do.
That's true.
Like any horizontalness. But then, of course, Turbo does most of the time, but Sydney does do some of it, and I even make the comment, yes, because the worst thing, you don't want Turbo all day saying, I can't do this because I was on a log for 6 hours. And my premonition, literally. He does do most of the time, but she also did everything on the first day. But she did the swimming.
Yeah, she really wanted to do more log time, but he, wouldn't let her because of his pride.
Yeah. Is she cleaning her tail or Frank's tail?
Her tail.
Okay. I love them so much. Okay.
Is it? Yeah, it's her. Is it her tail?
Yeah, it's all the way down there.
So they're all at equal footing until we realize that
equal footing and they're climbing a mountain.
Cedric and Michaela lost their rope somehow.
I really think Theo and Adrian just took the one that was outside, and it was Michaela's and Cedric's. And if you checked inside of Theo's tent, there was probably another rope there. Where did it go?
There's no way they didn't check all the tents for a rope. That's just bad, gameplay. But, yes, they got a 10-minute penalty, which ended up not mattering, but...
No, 5, wasn't it?
It's 10 minutes.
It was 5.
It was... Well,
I will fight you to the death about it. It was 5.
It was... Oh, you're right. It was 5. I'm thinking 10 minutes because of the Connect 4. So...
Ooh, are you ready to rant? Because if we're talking about them all taking off in the morning, what do they get to first? Wait, what do they get to first?
They get to the... Know a bunch of questions about your teammate, and if you get them wrong, you have to run down
into a pit,
and then run back up, and then you have to do it again if you get them wrong. So you get trivia questions. When you run down, you have to take the number of the question you think you got wrong. Then it will give you.
Might not even be right when you're down there.
And so Sydney already knows everything about Turbo. She gets everything right. Turbo struggles. And Jeremy and Olivia get there, and Jeremy struggles.
I was happy that they did it this way so that you couldn't just trial and error it, because they had to give multiple choice, because, if you legitimately don't know, what the hell are you supposed to do? But then if it's just multiple choice, you could just try every combination. So I'm glad they made you have to run if you get it wrong. Sydney actually grew on me this episode. I kind of am being endeared by her, positive self-talk about how awesome she thinks she is.
Yes, it's crazy.
Because, at least she is. It's very Wes of her, which at first seemed very forced and annoying and fake, but it's she really believes it.
And she's a beast.
And, right, she can back it up.
So, her and Turbo leave first. Jeremy and Olivia leave second. Michaela and Cedric, they leave last, because I think Cedric can't get anything right. Theo and Adrian leave, and then...
Yeah, Cedric's the one who, doesn't he say, because one of it is astrological signs. It's astrological signs? I don't even know when her birthday is.
Turbo and Sydney get a huge lead again, and they get to the second checkpoint where we both can go on this rant.
Raging Cajun, here we go.
It wasn't a wait for your opponent, or wait for the next team and do Connect 4 against them, and then the winner goes. So it's like a face-off in Amazing Race.
Which they had on last episode, right? We've already complained about a face-off in this final.
Yes.
It's one thing to have it on part 1.
It was the treadmill.
Yes,
or the stepper.
Yeah. It's one thing to have it on day 1 when arriving first only means you get more sleep. It's another thing to have it on day 2 when leaving in first. Here's the thing. Who gets there first?
Turbo and Sydney.
And then Olivia and Jeremy show up, right?
Yes.
So they're in first and second. They spend a long time playing. So already right there, because they're trying to like think out their moves. So already right there, you're letting teams 3 and 4 catch up. So I don't like that.
Right.
Then who gets it?
Turbo and Sydney. And they take off.
So now second place, who are in second place, who may be in a position to overtake first if they could keep up, you know, a pace of 5 minutes behind them, say, now have to stand at this stupid Connect 4 board until the team in third shows up.
Right.
Until they can even start playing.
Right. So
That makes no sense to me when on day one, if they couldn't complete something, they were air horned and told to go on after 30 minutes, after they reached the time limit. You could be 30 minutes waiting for third place to even get to the Connect 4.
Right.
So eventually Theo and Adrian show up, and Theo and Olivia go against each other, and they have this funny, like, diary room segment, each of them, where they talk about how they've played this at home lots of times and Olivia has never won. And Theo says, I don't know why she's playing. I beat her every time.
And then what happens?
He beats her.
Yep.
They play pretty fast, which to me is the strategy regardless. You're now at a face-off. Turbo and Sydney are gone. It's of no benefit to you to be like, ooh, I'm going to beat you in this. If Cedric and Michaela, who was in fourth at that point?
Cedric and Michaela.
Yeah, if Cedric and Michaela aren't that far behind, who cares what order you leave in? Just make it a foot race after this and blow through the Connect 4. To me.
Yeah.
If everyone is close by each other, especially when you're Olivia and Theo, you have no reason to hold each other back.
Right. So, yeah, Olivia and Jeremy lose, and then they have to, by that time, Cedric and Michaela were just getting there, so they didn't have to wait too long.
Right, that's
and then
my point.
They end up losing their third game in a row.
After Jeremy, and I mean, they've given all the rookies, they gave everyone a segment of, like, why I want to win this, what this would mean to me type of answering questions, and they're playing Jeremy's, and I'm like, oh, like, Jeremy and Olivia must finally win this Connect 4. They're giving him his, like, hero segment. And then they still lost. So they went from second to fourth because of a stupid face-off.
Yeah, so I thought that they were cooked after that. Because then they have a 10-minute penalty. And, 10 minutes is a long time. And then they don't get shown for a while.
Right, because we're focusing on Turbo and Sydney. And, like, I really need to, like, go watch it if you haven't watched it. This is my, like, rant every time. This is my plea to you. It was good. It was a mountain.
Yes.
And the finalists, I know people are like, oh, the boringest finalist ever, whatever. They do a really good job of narrating their experience in the final. Between explaining the altitude and the thin air and the rocks, and it's a mountain. Like,
yes.
They fall forward, like, basically face plant. Like, they have their arms outstretched and they are climbing. And they are not tethered to anything, and the rocks are, like, loose.
Yeah, there's really only, once they had done with checkpoint 2, they were really only on solid ground for, like, one hill
and even that was like a dirt path.
Yeah.
Like, even that's not super secure on your feet. But yeah, that was really your last chance to, like, gun it if you wanted to.
And pretty quickly, Michaela and Cedric pass Theo and Adrian.
Yes.
Because Adrian is just, like, dying at this point. And then out of nowhere, we see Jeremy and Olivia just fly by them.
Yeah. So then we get a long Theo and Adrian scene because they end up NFing.
Yes.
Not finishing. Which then leads us to all our questions of, this is a mountain, how do you get them down from the mountain? Which then we see a, like, red tent. So the reality is, it's not just like, oh, we're going to send a helicopter and you're going to go down now. It's like, okay, you're not finishing because Adrian can't breathe. Like, basically her body's shutting down. Neal said he was very surprised by that because she was such a beast on day one. But I really think, like, her body reached its limit with the altitude and she was probably hallucinating and, like, she was messed up.
Yeah. So
they just had to sit in a tent the whole time, though. Like, that's so interesting.
Well,
they
at least
just had to, like, warm them up.
Yeah. And then, we see Turbo and Sydney keep going, and then they show Michaela and Cedric, and look who's creeping up behind them. Jeremy and Olivia just keep chugging along, and Michaela's...
Because he says when they first leave, they are 10 minutes behind the third place team. So imagine how far they are from Turbo and Sydney. He says, now we've got to kick it into high gear. Like, now we've got to give it our all. And Olivia's like, to us, what do you think I've been doing for the last day and a half? Like, I've been giving, you've had my all this whole time. But I think she's really determined. And I think she was so wrong, and I called it right away, that she went against her gut and she chose Will. Will was the worst for her because he's not supportive. She needs someone who brings out, like, she's obviously capable of a lot. She needs a Jeremy who is also a fucking beast who can do anything, so you feel like you have to keep up, but who also brings the best out of you, so you, like, want to keep up.
Yeah.
So, like, they're not stopping. They're showing... Once they start showing Jeremy and Olivia again, every time they show them, they are walking. Unless Olivia is just stopping to stand for, like, one step. Whereas now, as they're showing the other teams, the teams are taking breaks. Well, Michaela keeps, like, passing out or something. She's like, I don't know if it's the altitude or if it's my ankle, but I just keep falling down. Like, Michaela, that's not okay.
Yeah.
So the medics actually stop her and say, we have to assess you. Like, you keep kind of passing out?
And then they let her go. She passes whatever tests. And...
Well, I think it was mostly that she was coherent enough to look at them and said, let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me keep going. And I think she was honestly just fighting with enough rigor that they were like, hey, let her go. She's, like, consenting to pushing herself to death.
Yeah, but... I mean, at that point, they couldn't even see Jeremy.
They were going to be third.
Which did get money, so... Then, this is where it got me, the editing-wise. They just focused on Sydney and Turbo for, like, 20 minutes straight, and how they're never going to stop unless they die. How dominant Sydney was.
Heart attack or gone.
It was crazy. And then they did this shot from, they're climbing to the summit. They're like, I don't know, 600 feet from the summit. And you see Jeremy and Olivia behind them down a little bit.
And you realize that it's not, like, big. Like, the gap is closing. The gap is closing. And Olivia looks up and she says, they're right there. So then I think she gets her own burst. Like you said, you see a team in front of you. That's, if you have any adrenaline left in your body, that's when it's going to kick in.
Right. And that, yes.
Well, like you said, it sucks because it's not like you can be like, summon some power within you and be like, we're going to run and we're going to pass. The rocks are so, you can't run.
No.
Michaela said it or who said it? You basically have to take 3 steps to gain a step. Which, again, another good description.
They just kept going and getting closer. And then they reach this point where you kind of had to, rock climb.
Like, step up.
And Turbo was just like, Jeremy described it best. He's like, we get up there and Turbo looks like he's a 65-year-old man.
Trying to climb this mountain.
And he was just done. And they pass Turbo and Sydney. And then the quick montage, they got so freaking far ahead of them.
They like doubled the space between, but in the other direction. So at that point, Turbo must have really barely been moving.
Yeah, and then they get to the summit and win. So
how do you feel?
That was one of the biggest comebacks I've seen in this time. Like, that would have been if Derek, he finished in second last season, right? He would have come back and beaten Jordan in the swimming challenge. Like that, they were fourth with a 10-minute penalty and smoked everybody.
Yeah.
Like
in straight endurance.
Think of the pace that they had.
But like you said, imagine if... Now, not to discredit Olivia, because like obviously she's a beast, but imagine if Jeremy and Sydney had been partners.
Oh, they would have had to have had a third equalizer, I think. Like, I am shocked Sydney and Turb... The editing made it seem like they were running away with it.
So like, you're really surprised by this. So I looked up, because I'm a spoiler queen, who won before the season started. And I remember feeling kind of icky about it because I'm Team Nerys when it comes to, like, I think Olivia is super insecure, felt like she was being abandoned by Horacio and being abandoned by Nerys and, like, backstabbed them. I don't like that. However, Johnny Bananas cannot convince me to hate her. I think she plays a good social game. I think she's very determined, and I think she set her mind on, like, it's my time to win. She wants to be a challenge champ.
Yeah.
Like, and now she is. Not everyone wants it as much as she does.
Well, I think she played a great game.
Yes, I agree.
And I think it's fitting that she wins, and then Jeremy, who had one of the best end of the season runs, you're about to go into elimination again. Everyone's turned against you.
And you stake
the claim to partner with Olivia.
Because that's what it's there for.
Yes.
It's the survivor shot in the dark.
I get...
Your last ditch effort.
That's crazy.
I agree.
And it worked. He got Olivia as a partner and they ended up winning. And
also... even within this season, I waffle on Olivia because sometimes I think she's so in her own little fantasy world, and then other times I think she's just like an insecure baby. The episode where they were all making fun of her because she was like interviewing the rookies for who was going to be her partner. Well, there you go, bitch. Guess she should have been the top pick.
Right.
Because she is number one.
Right. Yeah. Oh no, she didn't complain.
And she had a good story, too, that she was good in the beginning and then kind of had, like, a humbling mid-season.
Yeah. But
Cedric's personal montage was just about how awesome he is. To be fair, I didn't consider all the positive things he said about himself. Like 1-2 dailies, 1-2 eliminations.
He was great.
Was the first picked.
But I think him and Michaela's schemy schemers kind of blew back in their face a bit, and
who don't want to own it in weird ways. Like,
yeah,
Michaela will own it to us, but not to people. Weird.
Yeah.
Again, I will reiterate, you had a list in the first season. Just lean into being that person. You're playing the game hard. You're gonna do what it takes to win.
Yeah. So Turbo and Sydney finished second.
Then
Turbo like dies.
Yeah.
He has to get like carried down to
high angle rescue or whatever they call it. Like on one of those stretchers that people basically like bundle you up like a burrito so that they can carry you down the mountain.
And then they got him on a helicopter and they're like, "Oh, your hand is broken."
Right here and right here. And he's like, "Yes, I fell."
That's him and Cold, we've discovered this season, he can't do it, which is surprising because, like, Turkey's got to have a cold streak, right? It's crazy.
Must be below sea level. I think, yes, because they said we got to get Turbo down. He's becoming hypothermic. So it wasn't just the air. It was the cold.
Like the one episode, he went in the cold water and then got really sick and was basically useless.
Yes.
Him and the cold don't mix. Michaela, they eventually finish.
Which, like, good for her for fighting through, because she NF'd a finale, or a final before. She didn't finish once before, because she, like, passed out, and they're like, you can't finish. So good for her for fighting it and saying, no, I'm going to keep going, and for finishing.
Yes.
And I'm glad, I mean, TJ wasn't there, and we'll talk about that too, but I'm glad that the producers weren't like, oh, you suck. They, like, went up to Theo and Adrian, were like, you're really behind the 13. And they're like, can we stop? And he's like, yeah, stop.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to come in fourth. Why would you do it?
Right.
I know, to say you finished, but not if you're gonna die. Also, I think TJ wasn't there because a helicopter couldn't have gotten him up there.
Oh, yeah, they had to go down quite a bit to get to a helicopter for Turbo. So, yeah, he would have had to do quite a bit of climbing, and that's not worth it.
And I feel like there have been seasons before where he hasn't been at a summit.
I just wish they would have, like, when they went back down, they would have done him, like, a congratulation. It was weird that it ended without seeing him.
Maybe the Turbo situation was, like, really serious.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a time where they all came down at the same time, because, like, Adrian, like, the logistics of getting them all down again, that I'm really surprised they did something that grueling.
Yeah.
You consider that Adrian and Theo were at some, like, off point, in that maybe they didn't even go down that evening. Maybe they slept there before they could get cleared to walk back down. I doubt it. Yeah, they die up there, right?
Well, because Jeremy and Olivia finished at, like, the 26.5-hour mark, because Michaela and Cedric finished at, like, 27 hours and 40 minutes. So, like, they would have started day one super early, and then they started the ascent at sunrise. Mm. So you probably had enough time
to get... lot of hours left in the day, you think?
I'm sure...
Yeah.
It probably only took them a few hours to get to the top.
I don't know, man.
The
way they describe how it just kept going, like it never seemed like it was getting any closer.
That's true. But it was. I applaud the second after the stupid Connect 4. That's when it really got interesting.
Which, like, lucky for them, it worked out this time, and I think sometimes it can work out. But there are seasons where, well, Neal, you said it. If Olivia and Jeremy had won the first Connect 4, they would have been up at the top of the mountain, like, waiting forever.
Yes.
But then I argued... What?
That they would have been complacent, potentially.
Then maybe they wouldn't have been as fast in first. I think Olivia would have taken more breaks if they were in first.
Right.
I think they pushed it because they had to. I think they both probably pushed themselves further than they thought they could.
But then
and that's why they deserve to win.
I remember a season like the first All-Stars with the guy I can't remember who destroyed Darrell. Mm-hmm. He just won. Like that was one final where he was started in first and just won.
Right.
And no one came. I don't
like that either,
right.
Though.
So I feel like Jeremy wouldn't have let them get complacent. So
you know what? The Connect 4 worked out because it made for a really good finale. I knew who won, like I said, going into this season. I forgot along the way. I remember, like I said, being mad because I was so Team Nerys, but also being like, oh, well, she works hard and she wants it a lot. Like, she does what it takes to get it, so, like, she wouldn't be the worst. I remember thinking that. But then throughout the season, I did think I was right several times. Well, first of all, because she wasn't even with
I was going to say, were you confused after the final picking and they weren't partners?
Right. And, like, that's why I was flip-flopping, like, oh, then it can't be right because I didn't picture... But, of course, I didn't remember him that well, even though we did watch him on The Amazing Race. I more so remembered that Olivia won. So then when they were in fourth, even this episode, I was like, I really must have remembered that wrong. Because I never looked back and re-looked at the spoilers.
Right.
So, like, this was even really good for me to watch because I was like, oh, like, they're dead last. That is, they're dead last. Oh, okay, Adrian and Theo are slowing down. Okay, well, then they'll be third. Like, that's the best they're going to do.
Yeah.
We passed Turbo and Sydney. Incredible. Uh-oh.
Their pace was just beast. All right, so I wanted to talk about this. Michaela's ankle injury. I'm going to compare it to Patrick Mahomes. All right? Here, just if you're still in this, stay with me here. So she got hurt on a few episodes ago in a cave. She stepped wrong, rolled her ankle, and like you said, in order for her to do this final, they would have had to have given her a painkiller shot or something.
Right, like she's wrapped to the gods, her ankle is, but you'd have to do more than stabilize it. She'd at least have to take painkillers.
Right. She barely complained about it this whole episode, which blows my mind.
Or they didn't show it as much because they'd showed it so much already. Because she does still talk about it this episode.
Yes. So, like...
But you think she, like, shouldn't have been able to do it. Like, forget whether she complains about it or not.
But it's the first checkpoint today. They had to go down, and she had to go down into the pit.
Crumbly rocks.
That would be so much harder on your ankle than going uphill.
Yeah.
And they didn't even... Like, it... I think she was playing... or told to play up the injury... Or it wasn't as bad as she made it out to be.
Man. If you've, like, even just sprained your ankle, like, it is hard to walk on it. You're right. But if you can make the pain go away, like, you can ignore it. The only thing is you're still unstable. So, I mean, once they start going up the mountain, like, she's falling all the time.
Yeah, it's different than if they were on a path. Her ankle is constantly adjusting.
Right,
because
I think is why she kept falling to her doom.
Right. It's just, it was weird that she, for the last 3 episodes, was nonstop about her ankle. And then they do the hardest thing they've ever done, and all of a sudden she stops talking about it. And it's like, it brings me back to almost every season, the last few seasons, Patrick Mahomes gets an ankle injury, and shouldn't be able to do what he does. But
I really think instead they were just focusing on the fact she was almost dying over and over again. They had something more severe to talk about.
Yes. It was just weird. That's all I got. And I don't think in a show like this, you should be able to shoot someone up with a painkiller.
Because it's an advantage.
Right.
But it's not an advantage because it's only making her ankle as good as anyone else's ankle. Bam. Tell me I'm wrong. Everyone else is healthy.
But if she's healthy enough to compete without being disqualified because of medical reasons, why does she need a shot?
Because it's an accommodation. She's in pain. No one else is in pain. Oh, everyone else is in pain. Okay, but not like localized pain that you can like feel every step of the way.
I think it's giving them an advantage if they do something like that. I think if you're injured,
like steroids.
No, I get it, but again, if you're not disqualified for medical reasons, why should they give you an accommodation?
So that it's equal, equitable for everybody.
So then you should have
everyone's on an equal playing field.
That's not the reality of these competitions.
A painkiller doesn't make her superhuman. You're arguing that because she is hurt, she should have to play hurt.
Yes.
Okay. That's very...
It would be this... If Jeremy had a bad ankle, I don't think he should have been allowed to have gotten a shot. It would have applied to anybody.
I totally disagree with you, but I see your point.
Like in Survivor, they don't do that.
You don't know that. You don't know if they can't get, like, something if there's something really hurt. They get medical care.
Well, yes, but they're not going to give you a painkiller so you can do a challenge. They're going to make you sit out of the challenge.
Okay, but they didn't make her sit out. So then they have to protect her and
But
help her.
Otherwise,
it's like torture.
If they had to, but we don't know if they gave her something. That's my
No, right.
If you have to give someone something, why wouldn't you then just DQ her because of insurance reasons?
Okay, but like if I have my period and I have cramps, I took Tylenol with me to whatever country this is. Are you going to stop me from taking it? I don't want my body to be in pain while I compete.
Well, again, it's a rule thing. I don't know what the rules are.
Well, you need to reach out to a producer and find out.
It was just weird that somebody that mentions an injury nonstop for 3 episodes and then it gets to the final where you climb a mountain, all of a sudden doesn't mention it very often.
I understand.
And doesn't look like you're impacted by it. I did see your ankle brace in one of the shots, but an ankle brace isn't going to do much when you're climbing a mountain.
Right.
So, yes, that is...
barely helped me walking through New York. No, it does stabilize it. And they had it, like I said, rapid. Like no ankle in sight.
Right.
Anyway, I think Neal wants to go watch sports, guys.
No,
there was some soccer information happening today.
There is no sports on tonight.
Really?
Just like the NBA, which I don't care about.
Who does? Sorry, that's okay. People, if you like basketball, I'm happy for you.
I mean, basketball's 3rd out of the big 4, so...
What's 4th?
Hockey.
What? Boo! Boo! Okay, guys. Thanks for listening. Please watch this season of The Challenge because now, guess what Neal's thing is? No, next season of The Challenge is really going to be the litmus test up to see if it gets canceled forever.
Because next season is going to be the first season produced under the new company.
Right.
So
do you think there are people who are backing out because they think it's a sinking ship?
Well, my whole thing is Josh. Josh is the one that came up, and I'm like, okay, would you rather potentially waste this season on a show that's not going to continue or build your presence on other shows?
Spread your wings and fly.
Yeah, spread your wings. And but then if you don't have the best people, you're dooming the show for the most part because, again, the ratings...
Legacy. What is a legacy? Well, it's planting seeds in a garden you'll never get to see.
These 2 final episodes bombed with TV ratings.
No, I told our listeners to go watch it, so it would be good.
We need the streaming numbers to be good because they were not...
We're going to go watch the reunion of the Secret Wives of Norman.
I don't even want to watch it because
Utah's.
I've not seen one positive post about it.
And apparently it is the worst reunion of all time, which makes me very sad for Stassi.
The top comment is, Stassi asks controversial question, person starts talking, Stassi interrupts, asks a different question to somebody else, everyone's confused.
Oh, no. Now, other posts have been like, we wish you could have seen the other 11 hours because we filmed for 12 hours and they edited it down into 1 and it's the editor's fault. Other people are saying they frickin' filmed so much, they're probably already filming the next season now, so they're not allowed to talk about anything because it's just going to be drama points for the next season. But if that's the case, then don't have a reunion.
I saw one of the cast members said there was a 3-hour cut that was very good, and they don't know how... they came up with the hour that they released.
That's what I saw on social media. People in the comments were like, are they new? We will watch a 12-hour reunion. Make it the 12 Days of Christmas and give us an hour a day. It's like your biggest moneymaker right now. The rumbling is, these girls can basically ask for whatever they want. I think that's only true when it comes to, like, the Whitneys and the Taylors of it all. Like, some of these blondes that I can't tell apart, I don't think they can ask for the world.
And there's cameos that don't make sense. Like, Taylor's parents come on stage. Like, what? There was just a lot
on the reunion?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff, and it doesn't make any sense.
And Dakota at one point, like... refuses to film if Taylor's on the stage. Like, who do you think you are?
But we're gonna go.
Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we save it for tomorrow on podcast then.
Maybe.
I'd rather watch a movie. All of this, and now I've talked myself out of even watching it.
It's hard to get hyped for something you know is going to be terrible.
Yeah. Jaffiel.
Jaffiel.
Okay, guys, thanks for listening. We love you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.